All right, welcome. In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into Surah Al-Maidah, which is one of the very last revelations of the Quran. We're going to explore how it acts as a kind of divine blueprint for a community that's at this incredible turning point, moving from a position of being persecuted to a position of power.
So here's what we've got lined up. We'll start with the basics, just introducing the surah and what its name means. Then, we'll journey back in time to the historical moment it was revealed, because you really have to understand the massive changes that were happening. After that, we'll break down its three main themes. And finally, we'll tie it all together and see why it's so relevant for us today.
All right, let's get right into it. First up, we need to understand the name and the significance of this incredible surah.
So the name Al-Maidah literally means the table spread. Now you might think the whole chapter is about that, but actually the name comes from just one story mentioned inside. It's really more of a tag, a way to tell it apart from other surahs. The actual content? Oh, it's way broader and deals with some really critical stuff for the Muslim community. And this is a really crucial point. It's a Medinan surah. That means it was revealed late in the Prophet's mission. And why does that matter? Well, it means this guidance wasn't for a small group of people facing persecution. Nope, this was for an established, confident community that was becoming a major power in Arabia. We're talking about a group on the verge of forming a state.
Okay, so to really get what this surah is all about, you have to picture the scene. The change in circumstances for the Muslims was, well, it was dramatic, a complete 180 from where they were just a few years earlier. Just look at this timeline. It's honestly mind-boggling how fast things changed. Right after the Battle of Uhud, their very survival was on the line. Medina was surrounded by threats. But fast forward just a few years, and you get to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. The whole picture is flipped. They've gone from just trying to survive to running a powerful, secure state.
And this right here, it perfectly captures that shift. They weren't just thinking about defense anymore. The focus wasn't just survival. The new challenge was something completely different, and maybe even harder. How do you build and run a just and righteous civilization? How do you handle all this newfound power without messing it up?
You see, by this point, Islam wasn't just a set of personal beliefs anymore. It was a full-blown way of life, a civilization. We're talking about a unique culture, a legal system with courts, reformed economic rules, clear family laws, the whole shebang. A complete and distinct Islamic identity was now fully formed.
So, what was the spark? What specific event triggered the revelation of so much of this surah? Well, it all goes back to one pivotal moment, the journey to Mecca in the 6th year after the Hijrah, which led to the famous Treaty of Hudaybiyah.
So picture this. The Prophet, peace be upon him, along with 1,400 Muslims, travels completely peacefully to perform the Umrah pilgrimage. But what happens? The Quraysh, their old enemies, block them. They won't let them in. This created this super tense standoff, which eventually led to a treaty. And here's the crazy part. What looked like a setback on the surface was actually a massive strategic victory. It blew the doors wide open for the message of Islam to spread like never before. So this whole situation created an immediate, urgent need for guidance from Allah. Think about it. The Muslims now had the power to hit back. They could have easily blocked the trade routes of the very people who had oppressed them for years. But is that what they were supposed to do? This is where the real test began. How should a powerful state act, especially towards its enemies? The answer, a lot of it, is right here in this surah.
Okay, so now that we have that historical context locked in, we can really see how this surah tackles this new reality. Its guidance pretty much breaks down into three huge interconnected themes.
You can think of it like a three-part blueprint for this new chapter. First, you've got the laws for society. Second, a really powerful warning about holding power. And third, a renewed invitation to other faiths. It's a complete package: how to live, how to rule, and how to engage with the world.
And when you look at the laws, the level of detail is just incredible. This surah gets into the nitty-gritty of what a growing, complex society needs. We're talking about rules for Hajj, what's halal and haram, all the way to criminal justice and legal testimony. It's literally the legal framework for building a society on divine principles.
Now, this second pillar, this might be the most profound part of the whole surah. Imagine, after all those years of being oppressed, you finally have the upper hand. The temptation for revenge would be immense, right? But here, the Muslims are being warned. Wield your power with absolute fairness. Stand up for justice, even if it goes against your own people, your own family, or even yourself. And never, ever let your hatred for an enemy make you unjust. That's the incredibly high standard being set. And remember that treaty? The peace it created wasn't just a time to relax. It was an opportunity. For the first time, there was space to really focus on conveying the message of Islam. And so, this surah includes a very detailed, direct address to the people of the book, the Jews and Christians, calling them back to the original pure teachings of their own prophets and inviting them to the final revelation.
So let's bring it all home. Why does any of this history matter to us today? Well, because the core message here is absolutely timeless. It's not locked in the 7th century. The entire surah really makes you think about this question, doesn't it? When a person or a community goes from being weak to being strong, what's the real test? Is it just putting up with hardship, or is it something else? The surah seems to be telling us that the much, much harder test is handling power with justice and humility.
And that's the bottom line. The ultimate test of your faith isn't just having patience when things are tough. The real test is about sticking to your principles, fairness, justice, compassion. When you're the one in charge, when you have the power to do whatever you want, that's the timeless challenge. And that is the beautiful guidance that Surah Al-Maidah gives us.
We really hope this look into the background of Surah Al-Maidah has given you a deeper appreciation for its profound message. If you got something valuable out of this, we'd love it if you could hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for watching.